Hey everyone, it is time for our weekly forecast. I realize that I'm going to be getting this to you a little late. I had some other things to do this morning, so I'm not recording until this afternoon. But that's what life is about, rolling with it. So, to begin, let's smudge. The cards we're using this week are the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Let's open our circle. Shuffle. The energy of this week is surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Exciting. This is a sensual, highly feminine card. It's a call to surrender to the sweetness of life, to let the ever-abundant feminine take over, to taste the fruits you've been working so hard to grow, to let your senses take over and really drink in your life with wonder, to get intoxicated on the simple bounty that this planet has to offer and which you have within you when your well is full. The ancient Babylonians connected with the feminine goddess Ishtar to the planet Venus, and in Roman mythology, Venus was the goddess of love and beauty. In our night sky, aside from the moon, Venus shines the brightest. Time is our most precious resource, and it's the greatest healer. If you've been all work and no play, this is a sign to take some time out, to reconnect with your lover, play with your children, and give yourself the luxury of time without an agenda. Many of us are so busy building our lives that we forget to enjoy them. We forget why we decided to build them in the first place. Disconnection from the sweetness caused more pain than we realize. So many of us walk into soulless buildings 5 days a week in the name of survival. We strive to build the life of our dreams, but drive ourselves to exhaustion. This card is wooing you back to the pleasures of being human, to focus on what really matters and enjoy your incredible life. The Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you surrender to the sweetness of life? What's one way you can enjoy your life a little more? So how can you bring pleasure to your life this week? What is holding you back right now? What is kind of binding you to the mundane, to the day in, the day out, to that kind of survival instinct? Talk about that survival instinct. That's like our fight or flight response. We get this feeling if we don't accomplish these certain tasks, then I'm not able to kind of move on or be successful or create abundance. So when we are in this heightened stress response, what happens is we get these blinders on, and we only see one path forward instead of seeing that there are many paths forward. Maybe a different path would be the easier path, but in order to see those other paths forward, we need to decrease our stress level so that we're no longer in that fight or flight mode. So how do we do that, right? For many people, it's different, right? You need to, I guess, prioritize a little bit. And it's good as that, like, it sounds shitty, right? Because it sounds like I'm giving you a hard time. And I'm really not trying to, because I have been there and I still am there at times where I don't see the path forward because I'm so wallowed up or so comfortable in that grief and in that discontentment and, playing the victim, that I don't see the joy that could be had if I just kind of let go and surrender the outcome and really kind of trust that I am in the right place at the right time, that things will fall into place. What else we need to know this week is you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, just won't like you. But it is also filled with those who will love you fiercely. They are your people. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince others of your value. They won't ever want what you're selling. Don't try to convince them to walk alongside of you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs, and you'll likely inflict unnecessary wounds that will take precious time to heal. You're not for them and they're not for you. Politely wave them on and continue on your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen it by rolling yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. Pulling this card means that you're being called to embrace your uniqueness, to own your weirdness, to let the world see who you truly are, to reveal your multifaceted, multidimensional nature, not to dim your light according to who is in your presence, to own all parts of yourself so that your people, the ones who are of the same kind of weird as you, can recognize you when your paths cross. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you embrace your weirdness and not care so much about what other people think? And in this, the part that really struck me was that you're not going to kind of convince somebody to come to the other side, right? I wanted to talk, it's really funny because before I press play on this today, I was like, I want to talk about unsolicited and well-meaning advice. Like, I want to do kind of like a video on that. And it'll be like the unsolicited advice of giving unsolicited advice, right? And so we do that. We see somebody and we maybe empathize with their struggles. Maybe we don't, because maybe we don't quite understand their why of why they are struggling. And so maybe we can't necessarily put ourselves in their shoes because they're their own person and we are our own person. But unless somebody kind of asks for that, for advice, for a step forward, we should really just kind of keep it to ourselves and focus on ourselves and not focus on other people. I grew up in a small town, so like tons of gossip, tons of people, just everybody knowing everybody else's business. And yeah, it's not a very fun place to be. I kind of like the town I'm in now. Even though I've been here for 15 years, I still somewhat feel like an outsider. And I don't know all the politics or all the old family feuds or dynamics of the people that have been born and raised here, and that's okay. But what I'm getting is like this card, you're not going to be for everybody. So just do you. Focus on yourself and focus on how you can spread, your light, your love to those around you and be receptive of that. So there's kind of two things at play here, right? Surrender to the sweetness of life and really kind of enjoying life. Because when you're trying to, when you are, I'm not arguing in the sense of arguing, but when you are trying to convince somebody else of something that they don't believe in, that takes a lot of effort. And is that effort worth it? Or should you just use that time to have a little bit more joy? So where is this going? The golden children. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Golden children, children of the sun, are highly advanced, extremely intelligent souls who are incarnating increasingly on the planet. They have little or no personal karma and possess incredible gifts and intuitive abilities. Golden children are born with a very clear mission. Many remember it from a young age and begin answering and sharing it in early life. Due to their unique intelligence, they may find themselves easily bored at school. Most have never incarnated on Earth before, and so, if they're not supported in the right ways, they struggle with the physical life here. They're often referred to as the new humans. If you pull this card, it may be a sign that you're being called to mother, father, or nurture a child. You may be called to tend to your own inner child, a creative idea or project or new beginning, to treat yourself or the new beginning with sweet, tender love, to nurture and nourish it, to give it every chance to grow and to reach adulthood, to encourage it, to water it, to see the world through the innocence of a child, to see yourself and all others as innocent children, to remember that deep down everyone is trying their best, and if they're treated with a tender heart, they'll not harden as they journey through this great adventure called life. So the Starseed Soul Inquiry, how can you treat yourself or others more tenderly? And this kind of goes back to the beginning where I said, we're kind of in this heightened stress response state. So if we want to surrender to the sweetness of life, we really have to figure out how to lower our stress right now. And as we lower that stress level, we bring in more joy, more bliss, and we're able to embrace life. We embrace our inner child. We become more creative. And that's kind of the gift of the golden children. They have this innocence about them where they really want to embrace change and embrace a new way forward. And we're going through this transition right now in real time. So aside from, new beginnings and stuff, because we're all going through that, I don't really want to harp on that, because we have to embrace and figure out how we're going to step forward into this new life. When it comes to golden children, this is where this is a Starseed Oracle deck. So this is where it gets, a little woo-woo, if you want to call it that. This is where you really need to embrace the uniqueness of people and of the children in our lives. Just because a certain discipline or you had a certain interest as a child doesn't mean that the children now are going to have those same interests. And each child, like I have 3 children, each child's needs are different, and how they feel loved is different, and how they feel accomplished is different, right? Like if you talk about the 5 love languages, they're all so different and unique, yet, we're all still part of this collective. We're also a part of this symphony. And I'm still connected to you, and I'm still connected to the person who I don't agree with, you know what I mean? Who has a totally different point of view and different reality, because we're living on these different frequencies of energy. And it's okay. And I have thanks and I have gratitude for that person who is different than me. Because if we were the same as everyone else, then we wouldn't feel special. We wouldn't feel unique. Our action this week is weight of the world. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Kind of like this one, right? You're not for everyone. It's also not yours to carry. You do you, and you let them do them. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. Oh, this card is hitting home. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it is hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and to ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. It isn't to say that you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so that you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiring, deep breathing, or exercise in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. At the end of the day, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that is not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. So the Starseed Soul Inquiry is, what are you carrying that isn't even yours? Yes. This card, it is like hammer, head, nail. You know what I'm trying? Hit the nail on the head. That's it. That's the phrase. It just hit the nail on the head so well. I've been doing a few videos today, and this message kind of keeps coming up, where the last time that I really blocked out some time for self-care for an extended period of time was almost 3 years ago. And I was great at doing that for about 3 months. And then life got busy. I decided to open up a studio, and the self-care bit that I was doing for myself, it went away. And so it's only now that I'm kind of getting back into that space and really figuring out what it is that I need to do, what practices do I need to do that really kind of fill up my well so that I can be of service to everybody else. So this morning, after I sent the kids on the bus, I kind of started a little routine. So I went for a 30-minute walk. I spent 30 minutes in my sauna and meditated. I had my shower. I did my skincare routine. I had a coffee, and as I was having my coffee, I didn't feel like getting on Facebook. I didn't feel like watching any YouTube or TV or anything like that. I really wanted to have like a deep, meaningful conversation with somebody, but more so, I wanted to be able to express everything that I was feeling. So what did I do? I took my camera and I had coffee with myself. I started a video and I just rambled to myself, to everything that everything that I was thinking about, my intentions for the week, all gratitude, all of it. I just spilled it out, right? I spilled it out to myself on a video, and it was a way to just release, I don't want to say burden, but release that from me, because I don't need to carry that. It's not necessarily even mine. Maybe some of it is mine, but some of it isn't. And so the weight of the world, letting that go, really understanding what it is you can control and what it is that you can't control. If you can't control it, there's no sense worrying about it. Just let it go. And the things you can control, well, make a plan. Make a plan that is going to bring ease and calm and reduce that stress level so that you can have this sweetness, so that you realize that you are a rare gift and you can start something new. Embrace your weirdness, That's what I have for today. Let's close up our circle. Thank you so much for coming. Like, subscribe, share this video with somebody if you think that they would enjoy this message as well. Take care.